Hey everybody, Father Peter here. What a great day this is. I've got Molly Russo, devoted and devout member of St. Mark's, but today also mother of Christopher Mad Dog Russo. So this coming Sunday, Chris Russo, known throughout the world, millions and millions of people know as Mad Dog, is going to be speaking at our Fully Alive Forum, and we're going to be talking about play. What is it that makes Christopher Russo, and why does the world care so much about that guy who says, "Hello, everybody," or "Good morning" when he gets on his show? So Molly, your son is interviewed all the time. He's on television, he's on radio. You're not on television, radio all the time. So welcome to the video log. We love having you here.
Thank you.
So your son is famous. He has a Wikipedia page. Millions of people recognize him. Did you see that coming when he was a kid?
No, not at all. He was always practicing talking into a microphone, a pencil at school, to walk around Darrow with a pencil talking. But I didn't see it coming, not the fame.
Yeah. Well, Darrow School, where he went as his boarding school, and I know Tony, your husband, went there also, and I heard from one of his former teachers that Chris used to announce the basketball games or do the play-by-play on the basketball games.
Yeah, he did.
So this sports thing, was he a good athlete as a kid?
He was. He would roll over from one sport to another with great ease.
And could you see it as a child that he was obsessed by the Green Bay Packers or the San Francisco Giants or whatever? Did you see that at all?
I saw it coming. I saw vestiges of it when he was young.
Yeah.
But when he got older, then of course it came out in full bloom.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been on the show a few times, and I've been to the studio when he's on the show, and he's a savant. He has a shocking memory, a shocking encyclopedic knowledge of sports. Did you see that also when he was a kid? That this was a kid who had an incredible memory for detail? And
I did, and we had a library in his bedroom, and I had a lot of books which I wanted him to read. And I noticed after time that there was one shelf with nothing but sports books. Yeah. That was a clue.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, he loved sports, always. Yeah. He loved to play, too.
Well, he and really still, as a tennis player and as a golfer, assuredly. So, as you know, and folks out there in TV land might not all know, there is an online magazine, is what they call it, and they did an incredible day in the life of Christopher Russo. The Athletic is the name of it, athletic.com. And it's an incredible piece. And at the beginning, they're interviewing Chris, and he said this, and I want to get it right. God put me on this earth to be a sports talk show host. And the response is, God must have been feeling pretty frisky when creating Christopher Mad Dog Russo. What do you think about God put me on earth to be a sports talk show host? Do you have any sense of that as his mother and Chris's vocation?
I think we had always been churchgoers,
right? And
I think that expression might have come from his beliefs.
Yeah. So I remember many years ago, the New York Times Magazine did a piece on Chris, and it was a sort of Chris Russo in one-page piece, and they had maybe a picture of his jogging machine in his basement, but they also had a picture of a cross that he wears around his neck, and it was laid into the article in a very artful way. Mm-hmm. You are you are devoted and devout, and so is Chris. Tell me about, did you see this faith life of Chris from a young age, or did he have a normal faith life or normal development?
Well, I think as a child he was reluctant to go to church, but I said, we're doing it, you might as well get used to it. Yeah. And he gradually took it in stride and began to love it. And he was always open to everything going on around, including that. And I think it infused his life.
Yeah. A very important part of his life. He's here whenever it's possible for him to be here. He is here.
He does come.
You're of English descent. Tony, your husband, must have been a Long Island Roman Catholic Italian, tell me about that.
Well, he was born in New York City.
Born in New York City, okay.
And a third generation Italian family. And he loved the Yankees. I mean, he loved the Yankees. And I think the talk show emanated from the times when Chris and his dad would sit on the couch and argue.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He told me that anyway. And I can see where that would emanate from that.
Yeah.
And I was very happy to see it because I'd be off playing tennis while they were watching a game, you know.
Well, back when Mike and the Mad Dog was in full bloom, and Tony was calling in and saying that they should get rid of Derek Jeter and saying all this stuff that was just so absolutely hilarious radio to listen to. And Tony became, in some sense, a radio personality in his own right.
Tony's Corner.
Yeah, just because of
Chris.
Yeah, of Chris. So, sports talk radio was greatly invented by Chris and Mike.
Definitely. They made history, the first people to do an all sports show, talk show.
Pioneers, just really, literally media pioneers in a world that now the sports talk radio is such a common thing.
Yes. And it was odd how it happened. He won an open audition to WMCA in New York, an old radio station owned by Macy's, you know.
Oh, no kidding. Oh.
Department store.
No, I didn't know that.
And he had an open audition in New York, one of 8 people who in the finals. Wow. And he won it. And he was on WMCA for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they were sold and it became a religious station, so he was out.
Yeah.
And he heard about WFAN and applied, and they hired him, and he was on with Don Imus.
Oh, I remember that.
For a long time. Yeah. A few months anyway. And then they put him on with Mike. Yeah. And neither of them were happy about that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. The tumultuous 19 years together. I was a great fan of Chris, particularly during my seminary years when WFN was really beginning, where they were just starting. And so I would begin my day when my little boys were needing to have diapers put on them and stuff, where I'd have Imus in the morning with Chris doing the sports, and then I cooked dinner to Mike and the Mad Dog in our little dinky kitchen in our ridiculously small apartment at the Yale Divinity School. And when I applied here and came into Dick DePatty's office and saw a picture of Chris Russo on the wall, I knew it was a calling, because if Chris was here, I could come.
You would be happy.
I would be happy here, yeah.
Well, I hope he's fulfilled that.
Oh, I love your son. Oh, I love your son. I'm sorry, my job is so busy. If not, I'd go once a month down and hang out at the show, because I love just to watch him do his thing.
Yeah.
So this Sunday, we're going to have Chris here. I did say to him once, what's it like to be known as Mad Dog throughout your whole life? And he made a very, very funny response to that. So we're going to have Christopher Mad Dog Russo at his spiritual home talking about the whole theology of sports in the world today and what does it mean in our lives. So don't miss it. You can come here any Sunday and see Molly in the pews, oftentimes in the choir, singing to the glory of God. Yes. Molly, we love having you as part of our congregation.
Thank you.
We really do.
Thank you.
And you got to skip choir on Sunday so you can see Chris.
I do, and I won't be singing because I have to come and hear.
You got to come and hear him. Yeah. Okay, I hope you all come and hear him too. Peace and blessings. See you soon.